A nurse hides her brother's crime to protect his future. When the truth comes out, the judge teaches everyone that sometimes honesty needs courage, not punishment. In every courtroom, truth is sacred. But sometimes, truth comes wrapped in pain. And in those moments, even justice must find a heart. This is the story of Emma Clark, a nurse, and the lie that almost destroyed her life, until one judge decided to see deeper than the law. Emma Clark was a nurse, calm, kind, and devoted. For years, she'd worked night shifts at St. Mary's Hospital, caring for the sick and the forgotten. Her colleagues called her the heartbeat of the ward. But behind her gentle smile, she carried a secret. Her younger brother, Ryan, was everything she wasn't: impulsive, reckless, and desperate to prove himself. Ever since their parents died, Emma had taken care of him, paying his rent, his tuition, his endless mistakes. Until one night, he made the worst mistake of his life. Ryan worked part-time as a delivery driver. That night, driving home past midnight, he hit a man crossing the road. He panicked. He didn't call the police. He didn't stop. He drove straight to his sister's house, trembling. "Emma, I didn't mean to. I swear I didn't mean to," he cried. She stared at him. Blood drained from her face. "Ryan, what have you done?" "There was a man. He came out of nowhere. I didn't see him. Please, please don't let them take me." Emma's world froze. She knew the law. She knew what would happen if she reported him. Her brother would go to prison. His future, gone. And so, she made the choice that would change both their lives. She took the car to a friend's garage and told him to fix the bumper quietly. She told Ryan to say nothing. The next morning, police were investigating a hit and run. The victim, a 54-year-old father of two, was in critical condition. She treated him that day in the ER. She held his hand as doctors tried to save him. He didn't make it. That night, she broke down in the supply room, silent tears soaking through her scrubs. She wanted to confess, but every time she looked at Ryan, she saw her parents' faces. "I can't lose him too," she whispered. Weeks later, investigators found security footage near the scene. The license plate matched Ryan's car. He was arrested. When the trial began, Emma was called as a witness. She sat trembling in the witness box as the prosecutor asked, "Miss Clark, are you aware your brother's car was seen leaving the scene?" She hesitated. Her heart pounded. "Yes, but he wasn't driving that night." The courtroom murmured. The prosecutor frowned. "Then who was?" She swallowed hard. I was." Gasps filled the room. Ryan looked at her in horror. Her lie had just shifted all the guilt onto herself. The prosecutor leaned forward. "So, you're confessing to a fatal hit and run?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, see." Her lawyer whispered, "Emma, what are you doing?" But it was too late. Her words were on record. She took the blame to save her brother, and everyone believed her. Days turned into weeks. The trial dragged on. Her coworkers, her hospital, even her neighbors looked at her differently. The kind nurse they once admired was now a criminal. And yet, she stayed silent. Until one day, someone unexpected came forward. It was a mechanic from a small garage on the edge of town. He said, "I fixed a dented car the week after the accident. It was registered under a man named Ryan Clark, but his sister asked me to keep quiet." The courtroom fell silent. Judge Henry Wallace looked up from his notes. "Is that true, Miss Clark?" Emma's voice shook. "Yes, Your Honor, it's true." He leaned forward. Why would you lie in a court of law? Her tears streamed down her cheeks. Because I couldn't let him go to prison. He's all I have left. The judge sighed deeply. You do understand that lying under oath is a serious offense. She nodded. Yes, sir, I'm ready for whatever punishment you decide. The judge stared at her for a long time. Then he spoke quietly. I've seen criminals in this courtroom who lie for greed, for pride, for escape. But you... He paused, his eyes softening. You lied for love. Emma looked down, sobbing. Miss Clark, he continued, you're guilty of perjury, that's clear. But you're also guilty of something else. He looked around the courtroom. Of carrying a burden no sister should ever have to bear alone. He called Ryan to stand beside her. Ryan Clark stepped forward. Your sister nearly destroyed her life to save yours, the judge said firmly. She stood before this court, ready to face prison for your mistake. And you let her. Ryan's voice cracked. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was scared. I didn't want to lose everything. The judge's voice grew heavy. You already lost your integrity. Don't lose your soul, too. He turned to the bailiff. Remove the perjury charge from Emma Clark's record, but place both siblings under supervised community service at the hospital's trauma ward for 6 months. Ryan's eyes widened. You mean we're free? No, said the judge softly. You're forgiven. But freedom must be earned. As the gavel fell, the courtroom filled with tears. Emma sobbed into her hands. Ryan hugged her tightly, whispering, I'm so sorry, Em. You saved my life, and I almost ruined yours. Judge Wallace stood and spoke to the room. This case isn't about crime alone. It's about conscience. Sometimes good people make terrible choices out of love. And our job as a society is to teach, not just to punish. Because mercy is also justice. Emma and Ryan worked side by side, helping accident victims, comforting families, learning the true cost of carelessness. One evening, a patient smiled weakly and said to Emma, You have kind eyes, nurse. You look like someone who's forgiven the world. She smiled softly, maybe because the world forgave me first. In the end, the truth came out, not to destroy, but to heal. Because sometimes justice doesn't need a hammer. It just needs a heart. If this story touched your soul, remember, mercy doesn't make justice weak. It makes it human. Tell us in the comments, would you have done what Emma did? Like this video to remind the world that love and truth can coexist. And subscribe for more powerful true-to-life stories that prove compassion is still the strongest law of all.